Hello and welcome to Where Women Talk. I'm Nadia Giordana. My guest today is Kim Hanzo, and she is a children's author. She's working on a 6-book series. I have 2 books right here. And I must tell you, they are fantastic and illustrated superbly. I can't wait until my great-grandkids get their copies. Let's go talk to Kim. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Nadia. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to start by finding out how your creative journey began, because I understand you're an illustrator too, so it's more than just writing.
Yeah, I actually have always been interested in the creative field, I guess you could say. I love to color, and I come from a family that enjoys lots of crafts. So I was always kind of nurtured in that respect. And then somewhere around high school, I discovered I really wanted to go into that as a profession. I had some great art teachers that really fostered that. So I went to the Rochester Institute of Technology and got a bachelor's of fine arts in illustration. And then I stayed on and got a master's in painting because I just loved experimenting in the process. So I really wanted to get the most out of it before I became a real adult. And then my career path has kind of used illustration, but I also worked in the graphic design field, kind of gotten into marketing and that kind of thing with creative direction. But I've always worked around either educational materials or books publishing. I worked for a yearbook company. So I've always been in that field related to production and that kind of thing. And then ultimately I decided to just kind of start my own path and break out on my own. I started my own business where I freelance graphic design and illustration. And one thing led to another. I found Fox Point Books, and now I am illustrating books, children's books, which was my ultimate dream. And once I got a few of those under my belt, I was like, well, you know, I think I can write one of these too. So here I am.
Oh, how great. So are these, I'm going to show the audience these.
Sure.
These are just a delight. I think they look backwards on the screen. These 2 are Walk Lightly and Stand Together. I'll put clear images on the screen here while we're talking. And what was my question? I was going to say, do you have a family and some children yourself?
I do have a family. I am married and I have 3 children, ages 14, 12, and 9. So when I started my own business, some of the illustration work I did there, it features kind of positive messages. And a lot of that came out of mothering, I guess, things that I wanted to instill in my own kids. And kind of took off from there. And the 2 books you just showed are the first 2 books in a 6-book series called World of Difference. And it's actually based on one of the pieces that I had done several years ago. So the 6 books just kind of expand on the topics touched on in that piece.
I love the messages.
Thank you.
Even though your children are probably a little older than the age group of these books, what do they think about you being an author in addition to being an illustrator?
That's a great question. They're kind of used to the illustration thing because I've been doing that for several years now. I can say if I ever ponder, you know, a certain freelance job or whatnot, they're like, well, you're not going to quit doing Lello Lolly, right? Which is the name of the business. I'm like, no, absolutely not, because I love it. And then, you know, when I started to author books, they knew I was working on something and they were kind of excited about that. But I think when the first box came and we opened it and they were looking at the books and really started looking through the pages, they were like, wow, you did this? And my son said, you did this by yourself? And I said, well, yes, I did. So it's been a great experience. It's still a little surreal for me. I've worked in printing so long. I am used to having pieces, you know, printed and mass produced, but not necessarily having my name on them. So that is very exciting.
It's just an incredible special feeling to feel that, and then to see that incredulity in your children's eyes is like, and the pride in their eyes. That's priceless.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, now tell us a little bit about the messages in the books as you go through them.
Sure. So Stand Together, I have it right here, I'll show you. Stand Together is about 5 roly-poly little penguins. The whole book really surrounds on the idea of community, and the series in itself, but this book especially, that kindness and making a difference in the world doesn't require a heroic act or grand gesture. It can be achieved through everyday behaviors. So these 5 roly-poly penguins go through their day, and each one of them individually sort of has a different challenge. And they discover that when they rely on each other or help each other, that their world is just a better place, that they have an easier time and camaraderie and support. So that's kind of the message in this one, really fostering the idea of community. And then Walk Lightly is perfect timing for Earth Day, because this one really is about caring for the earth and our environment. So we have this friendly jaguar that takes a walk through the South American rainforest. And I should side note here, each of the books takes place in a different continent around the world. So when the series is complete, the whole world will be represented. But the jaguar walks through the rainforest, and he kind of observes different animals, maybe not having stellar behavior, taking care of their environment the best that they can. And then when you flip to the second page, they kind of learn their lesson and change their behavior in ways that are going to, be environmentally conscious. And then in the end, they're all just happy little forest animals because they've taken care of their home.
And that, I think that's just fantastic.
Thank you.
Do you think you'll be able to work in some in-person appearances over the summer now that things are opening up a little bit?
I hope to. I have a local Hallmark store that carries some of my artwork, and they actually recently hosted a book signing, and I also revealed 2 new prints that coordinate with these books there. So that was my first. Since COVID has started. I typically do a lot of the large craft shows, especially in the fall, preparing for Christmas. So I'm really hoping with vaccines and all of that, that come later this summer and in the fall, we can definitely pick up, because there is nothing more inspiring than connecting with your audience. It's great to do it online, but it's not the same as meeting and greeting and, getting feedback. And really, I draw a lot of inspiration from the people that visit me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And are you going to be able to get to the book festival? I guess that's here in Minnesota, so it's a little ways.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be there in person or not yet. That, time will tell. These days, nobody knows what they're doing a month from now. So
yeah, you're right.
See. Yeah, but that's definitely on my list as a possibility.
Oh, well, if you get to that, I'll probably see you. I plan to be there.
Oh, good, great.
Hopefully I'll be able to meet more of Kirsten's authors.
That would be fantastic.
What kind of advice would you give to other authors, not necessarily illustrators, because very few people, I really think very few people have the talent to be able to do both those things.
Sure.
But, and so in either field, what kind of advice would you give someone?
Oh, that is a great, I would say own your craft. Put your heart into it. I think it's a very scary thing to put yourself out there. A goal of mine always had been from the time I graduated college to illustrate children's books. But I think even then, when you first graduate, you need to pay bills. And so it's scary to freelance. So you go for the staff job typically, because it's a regular paycheck. And even then, there's this, well, I don't know if I'm good enough, all of the worries and the fears. And I'm just at the perfect place right now where my career path has kind of afforded me a lot of the experiences that I needed to own my own business, promote myself, and I'm confident enough in my skill set and the business of it and the environment of printing. I have that background. So I was ready for that step. So I would say just gathering all the experiences that you can that are going to help fortify your confidence. And the worst thing that can happen is they say no and you try again. So, but at least you're trying. So I am so thankful that I did finally take that step. And honestly, COVID has been a disaster for many people, or a hardship, but it kind of pushed me to really go this route because I couldn't do the shows and whatnot. So I was like, well, I have time on my hands. I'm not traveling. So let's put it out there and look what happens. So, you know, just try and stick yourself out there and be confident in your own abilities and go from there. You've got everything that you need to manage that.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, that's absolutely true. What was your experience? How did you feel about and what was it like going through the publishing process? Because that's another thing that a lot of people really know very little about. And I know it's different with different publishers, but how fun or exciting or stressful was that experience for you?
I would say because I have such a long time history and experience with production. When I was a creative director, I was familiar. We worked our office was right in a printing facility. So that part of this business was not unfamiliar to me at all. I'm used to preparing files for that and that everything and proofing and that kind of thing. So that didn't scare me at all. There were, you know, just the process of, I'm going to say editing, but, you know, working with the publisher, things like how do we get an ISBN and what's the Library of Congress number? Like those I knew about ISBNs, but I didn't know that process. So those were new. And fortunately, Kirsten and Fox Point are great about, you know, holding your hand the first time. And once you've done it once or twice, it's really not that scary. But yeah, I would say, you know, if you have a great publisher or if you're going on your own, there are great resources out there to kind of just take it step by step and figure it out. It doesn't take long to adopt it.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there anything that I haven't asked that you want to be sure that the audience knows?
Oh gosh. I guess anybody who's been following me, just wanted to say thank you. I truly appreciate all that support. Again, I draw my energy and inspiration from those that follow me and interact. My books are available on Amazon. You can also find them on Fox Point, Plinte Publishing, especially if you're, you know, a bookstore, library, or looking for wholesale, that's a great place to go. And I also have a website, lellololly.com, and you can find them there along with all my other work.
And let's see if we can think of something else that we haven't done here and asked you. Going around your local community and probably not so much yet with these newest books, but what's it been like meeting the public when you had the opportunity to do that?
Oh, sure. You know, I tend to be a homebody. So it's kind of funny. I enjoy working at home and I don't feel the need to always go out. But when I do shows or events, I just get energized. I love the feedback. I love hearing people's ideas, how they connect with my work. If they have ideas or they're looking for something, I always keep a running list because, you know, that's just a great source of inspiration and ideas. You know, I mentioned the Hallmark store and I have people that start to go in there and look for my work. And when they were closed for COVID, it was like, wow, where do we get our stuff? And that still is surreal to me. It feels really good. You know, it's nice to know that my work is received so well. But I'm still in that place like, really? Me? So, you know, it's fun. It's inspirational and it means a lot.
That's very true. And I think a lot of authors are introverts and we don't think about that much. People think they must be extroverts because they're writing all these stories and weaving tales and of course it's necessary for them to interact with people, but
Sure.
in reality authors are very often homebodies.
Right.
And
Yeah.
their interaction with the public takes just a little bit more effort. And you're right, though, once you get out amongst the people and get the feedback and stuff, you feel very energized.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Well, Kim, it's been just a delight to have you on the show today. I'm so thrilled that we could do this. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time with a brand new guest.
Thank you so much.